twin 50s was right, almost the muzzles was almost over my head, just the back of my head a little bit. And that son of a gun, when we got over the channel, you know, they'd want to warm up the guns, make sure that they were working. And he'd shoot them blaming things with a muzzle blast right over the cockpit.
That's scary.
And you talk, you know it's going to happen, and you still come out of your skin, you know.
Yeah.
And there's dust come out of that instrument panel, and
Well,
it did scare the life out of me.
yeah. So, when did you join the war? Was it like right at the beginning?
No, well, it depends on who you're talking about. The United States was not in the war when I...
Yeah, you started with Canada, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Canada. I wanted to get in the Air Force, but the United States wasn't at war, and their criteria you had to have 2 years of college.
How many?
Well, I'd tried to go to school in Springfield and started out.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a good 1 full year in.
Oh, really?
And had 2 semesters, 2 terms. I don't know how they worked it, or whatever. God, I didn't have enough, so I decided to go up to Canada and join them. They would take you with a high school education and maybe get in the Eagle Squadron. Battle of Britain was going on then, you know.
Yeah.
And that was romantic. So I ended up there. An older boy went with me. We hitchhiked up to Winnipeg, Canada.
And hitchhike? Like on?
Yeah. Well, we most of the way, then we got on a bus and rode across the end up to Winnipeg, you know.
Yeah.
And we hadn't been there but a day or two until he washed out. They turned him down. I guess hell. And I let him talk me into giving him all the money we had so he could buy a bus ticket home to the city. And he said, I'll get home and I'll wire you the money right back. Of course, I never heard from him to this day. And I was starving. I went 3 days up there without anything to eat. And I was waiting for these people to ship me out. I went down there and asked, and they said this would be a few days yet, I was going to ship out to somewhere up in northern Alberta, you know, Saskatchewan or somewhere up in there, you know. And I just went into the officer's room and I said, I can't last that long. I said, you got to ship me out now. I'm through. I'm hungry. I'm broke. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You got to take me now. And he had me on a train for Toronto that night with a meal ticket. I ate about a house. No, but I was on that blooming old train. Went way up north of the Great Lakes and way up around there and down into Toronto, which is in the east, you know, on Lake Erie.
Right.
And north of Lake Louise, north of everything. Days. But I had plenty to eat. But I sure did get lonely. I was getting lonely when I went in there. And I wanted to go home, you know.
Yeah.
And told them I'd run out of money. And I was left up there alone in a country at war. And all alone. But I had come home and asked Mom. She had to sign a release for me to, I was underage, for me to sign up there. And she said, I never will forget, she said, I want any of you boys to do anything you want to, as long as you think it's right. As long as it's right. And I just couldn't bring myself to yell uncle and call her to get me out of the hole, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just couldn't do it. And by the time Pearl Harbor came around, I was a trained military pilot.
And so you had flying to back, huh?
I had told my mom the United States would be in the war, you know, and I was so right that I didn't. I didn't know how accurate I was. And they wanted me then.
I bet.
You know, they wanted me.
So you went back after Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, they threatened staff gunnery schools up there in Canada if we didn't transfer. So I went ahead and transferred. I didn't want to transfer because I had what I wanted, see.
Right.
I was trained as a fighter pilot and practically had orders to ship out from St. John's to ship out to England, you know.
Oh, really?
As a fighter pilot. And but I didn't. When they said they were going to staff gunnery schools, well, I transferred, and they transferred me down to a gunnery school in the United States.
You had to go through training again?
No,
Yes.
they shipped me to a gunnery school to staff a gunnery
Oh,
school.
to staff it.
When I ended up going overseas in combat, I was 4-engine heavy bomb, just exactly opposite. I was trained. The thing that really give you a thrill of the morning, especially in the B-24, you got into the airplane through the bomb bay.
Yeah.
And there's a catwalk in there, and you walk up the catwalk between the rows of bombs. And you're out there before daylight, and there's a little putt-putt running. Putt-putt-putt-putt-putt-putt, the generator, you know. And it's running these, I don't remember, 24-volt lamps, or whatever the system was. I think they're 24 volts. Yeah. And little dim lights is what they were. And out there in that eerie dim light before daylight, a little putt-putt running in the background, and here's these huge, rough casts. They're not smooth, they're rough casts, rough sand casts, you know, and just erodes, almost, you know. The rough, mean-looking buggers.
Oh, man.
With little propellers on the front of them. Safety wired on there. It'd give you a thrill. I don't care how many mornings you did it. You'd get a thrill every time. It would send shivers with every mission in the lead. Took me 3 times as long to get my missions in. Well, I had to do a lot of practicing on different airplanes and different equipment.
Yeah.
We ended up with radar, you know, we didn't have that in the beginning, and everything in between, all kinds of. Didn't get too close to anybody.
Yeah.
It was more bravado. Like, if you go down, can I have that jacket? You know, people come up and ask you that.
Really? Yeah.
Can I have that? If you go down. Well, I had people do it.
So were your brothers in the war?
Mm-hmm. There was 4 of us. CC and Glenn wasn't in very long. They were in late. And my brother Edgar went in back there in the Depression, went in 1936 in the Marines.
Oh, yeah?
Well, he was in from 1936 throughout the war.